Good dawn, everybody. It is Zeralath Immortal, here to arrogantly tell you how it is. Um, yeah, false peace division. This has been something I've been talking about here and there, may be continuing to talk about it. But we're going through a period of time of a false peace, right? Where there's the fake war that everybody kind of sees as the fake war that it is in your world going on, basically on the political level. And then everybody else is just kind of living their lives, and they're not, they don't have enough integrity to do anything about that, and, other than to not like allow it be their forefront. But unfortunately, they would bend and satiate what comes their way to be polite, to be naive or nice. And I'm not talking about those people. Those are the people that the thing about those people is that because they have no such investments, there's nothing to betray. They're not your ally or your enemy until the psyop they become your enemy. Until then, it doesn't really fucking matter at all, right? And that's the thing, right? Like, we're in between psyops at the moment, and we're taking it for granted. And while we're taking it for granted, we're looking at everything that's different about each other, and now saying, now that I don't believe I need you anymore, I'm going to ask myself, do I actually want you? And so then you're going to start nitpicking and evaluating everything. And the people that do that, they obviously don't have any core values that are, here and now, and rooted in something that's real. And they're looking for excuses. They're looking for excuses to back out without looking like they're being petty. So, they come up with bullshit. And then they throw it at you the next time you do something that is typically you. And then you just don't understand because you just did something that's typically you, that's always been approved and acceptable, right? And then it comes out, right? And so, where are you from, and what's your hair routine? I'm from the American Northeast, and if you want to find out more, you should pay attention, because every once in a while, everybody figures out where I'm from. And my hair routine is pretty damn simple. I wash it every day in the shower, and I only use my hemp oil based shampoo and conditioner, and I don't shampoo and condition it every day. I'll wash it down with water, and then the shampoo and conditioner is maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, unless I've gotten particularly gnarly. And what is this guy doing? Who are you? Being annoying. Let's remove you. Let's hide user from this channel. 24 hours. There we go. All right. This is awesome. I'm now worthy of bots. Wow. I'm now worthy of being spammed by bots. Cool. I must be getting really popular because now I'm getting all sorts of unwanted attention. Let's see here. What's that? Okay. Yeah, I'm pregnant. Hemp is not going to work for me. You're pregnant and hemp's not going to work for you. Oh, okay. Well, then you probably should go somewhere else and get advice from some other people because you asked. And I didn't need to know that unless I can help you with your fucking pregnancy. You know, you should have said, what do you do for your hair? And by the way, I have X, Y, and Z issues, right? And then I can sit there and say, well, I use hemp shampoo. How's that work for you? Instead of going on and just explaining what I do. Look, here's the thing. It depends on your hair, which is going to depend on a number of factors of your environment and your genetics. How you generally already take care of yourself and groom yourself. Your skin condition. Your melanin level, right? There's obviously an ethnic factor, right? I don't think I can give hair advice to black people. It's not my forte. Got me buddy named a car for an edit. Please. Who the hell are you? I don't just do shout outs. You have to have gotten my attention and shown me something of worth in order to get a shout out. So if Happy Pride Month coming out. Haha. I know, right? It's super gay. I know. I once had a bromance. It was a lot of fun. Could have been less sexual, but he came on really strong, and I told him no. I told him, like, dude, this is just a hike. I don't like you like that. And then he started spreading nasty rumors about me. See, I made all that up, and the person who I just said it about knows what I'm talking about. But you see, it's not fun to worm tongue. It feels nasty, and then you have to jump and feel like you have to defend yourself. Hey, look, I'm perfectly happy with a few people being led on to think I'm gay if it means that they'll listen. So, at any rate, the world is filled with a lot of jackasses. And my chat room is filled with a lot of jackasses. And my friends get betrayed by a lot of jackasses. And we live amongst a lot of pettier people than we think that we do. Right? We like to think that the people that we've actually come across are far less petty than others, right? But there's the high-profile petty and the low-profile petty. There's a lot of low-profile petty people in this chat room right now. They want me to shout them out, but, you know, they're also conflicted because they don't want to be shouted out by a gay guy, and allegedly I'm gay. So that doesn't really work for them because they're petty people. Then there's very high profile people that, you know, they've got a business, they've got a grift, they've got an agenda, or whatever, and they don't want someone else with more universal values shitting on their parade because they don't want to be around anybody who does any kind of work that's just like them, because it's all business competition. And in this game, we talk shit about people because social networking is replacing marketing, right? It's the people talking about the services and the products of other people that they've come across, and having little networks that like to think about these things and talk about these things, right? You know, this is like the Matrix 4 jackasses that want the cat tricks until, like, you know, Smith and Neo show up again, right? They have no soul. They just want to be fucking entertained. Well, they don't like to. It's not that they have no soul. It's that they won't show their soul. Their soul is reserved unto something else to keep them in the physical abandon of the world, distracted by the senses and the stimuli. And there's many people that are out there to serve that, including false awakenings, right? Like, a lot of the changes that we're seeing in the social construct is not a great awakening, but it is a lot of change, and it looks like awakenings. But all that's really happening is that somebody who's asleep is breaking one habit, picking up another habit, jumping out of one world and going into another world instead of just being in the world, right? And reconciling the conflict between the eagle and the snake, right? The higher mind and the reptilian mind are not having their admixture in the heart center, right? And if in our Norse mythos, Ratatoskr is supposed to do anything good, is that he's supposed to figure out how to make these two work together. But he really just kind of worm tongues it himself and just talks shit and fucking makes them fight, right? And then that turns the world tree into this Orphic egg being fought over by the eagle and the snake. But the eagle and the snake, in their harmony, become the dragon, the plumed serpent, right? That's the alchemical metamorphosis, right? This is when you let the heart gold alchemy be the medium between the reptilian brain and the higher mind. Hey, what's up, Susie? If you want to do any chat room maintenance while I'm driving, you go right ahead. I've already had one dude spam the hell out of me with weird pictures or whatever, weird emojis, just to get his channel. People want shout outs, undeserved. Like, I'm getting the weirdos with all my new success, all my new traffic and accolades unto the general masses. Got a clean house. Was my friend a twink? Yeah, he was a total twink. Total Twinkie. He didn't have much love or respect for himself, so he tried to find it in me. And then once he found his situation that was good for him and right for him in his world, threw me under the bus. Threw me under the bus right when it was convenient for him. Right in direct insult to a shared gesture. Me sharing knowledge and gnosis. Yeah. Felt rotten. Felt really rotten. Can't have any friends. Can't have any friends. Yeah. So, I suppose maybe I have, because I love to grow and change and evolve and adapt, especially because I still got a lot of things I have to work out in the back end, and I have to change myself in order to straighten myself out where I'm struggling on the back end of things. I can grow into somebody more alienatable, right? Unrelatable, because don't come to me if you're looking for popularity advice. You come to me for integrity advice, which is going to isolate you for a long time. And, it's not isolating you because you're some introvert who doesn't like to talk to people. It's that people can't get past the small talk. They can't get past the intellectualization of the conversation. They can't, it never gets to heart-to-heart communication, right? And having like a brotherly care for another guy, right? Brotherly, right? Being super silly and funny about all this shit because of how insulted that situation was for me, but is also indicative. Like, I have to bring this up because this is also part and parcel of where my focus is at when I've been looking at it happen for years prior, right? And then of course it happens to you. But I'm just watching all that happen where people come to some strange conclusion that they're done with this shit, they're sick of this shit. You don't even realize it's something about what you want to do that everybody was into yesterday is now shit to them today. Like something just switched in them, like a switch. Just somebody flipped the switch in their psyche, right? And for me, the synchronicities to my eclipse ritual are interesting, right? And I'm glad I'm through all the upsetting stuff about it, because I've got new strength, personal sense of integrity and clarity that have come out the other end. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Slick, good to see you. So I'm just watching these social circles of allegiances that were all developed throughout, like, basically the 2017 period when the regular world kind of went vile and nasty, right? And look, naturally you're gonna make some impulse jumps into some really general ideas and themes, right? Look, there's people that are obsessed with their values reflecting the antithesis or the adversation to the other side of the polarity, right? The left versus right paradigm. I mean, that's why you got, like, there's a reason why Steven Crowder just isn't interesting or cutting edge anymore. It's because he keeps you in that loop. He's got his core group that he can run his little political media machine with, and has, whatever he thinks he's doing, but he can't have a deeper conversation because that deeper conversation is too tertiarily related to breaking down institutions that his show has direct interest in supporting. And so this is happening to people everywhere, where they're making certain choices to run with certain securities in institutions, right? For things in accordance with their values, their cool club. They found the people that are begging, oh, come on in, we love you so much, we really like you, right? And this is indicative of Lubomir Arzov's The Forest King short film, which is kind of this, it's kind of like this prequel to In Shadow in many respects, where you're in the technological, cyber hellscape, whatever, and you're a young person who is looking for an out from your very, very constricted life, and you don't understand why your family won't just enjoy all of the technology and stuff that's there or whatever. And, you know, I don't have any friends, and so you go out and you go and you play their games, and then you find out that you're just really selling your will away. Selling your will so you can have the mask of approval. And you can watch your friends transform that way. Well, I'm actually speaking Swedish right now, Joel. But thanks for asking. Let's see. I look like Sami Zayn from Sammy. Does Sami Zayn look like this right now? Sami Zayn. I look like Sami Zayn. I'm supposed to look like Triple H. Damn it. No, Sami Zayn's a very cool wrestler. I'm not into his like gimmick. I'm not into like his thing, but at the same time, he's also being himself. So, although I'm not into his gimmick, I'm always into somebody who gets to be themselves, and I enjoy seeing these. You know, when the wrestlers, when being themselves works, right? Because it's themselves, but it's still the performance of the wrestler, and it's that synchronicity with the avatar, which is fun, right? You know, I may not love the Undertaker as the American Badass and his motorcycle and all that stuff, but that was the Undertaker fucking being himself, right? Because that was that's what the post-Attitude Era asked for, right? But there was something really, really, really good about that, because wrestlers were learning to shine in a more organic way, right? You know, it's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin gimmick was as believable as you could ask for, because like that is who Stone Cold is, that is his personality, and that is going to be his disposition when he's at odds with you. And then the rest is putting it together in a way that serves the integrity of the athletic competition that the judges are actually seeing and evaluating, that you are also witnessing and being entertained watching as they do it. And that's something that's a lot of fun, and you will get places if you can master what I call the authentic persona, right? The authentic persona comes after ego death and integration, and sometimes you have to go through a couple ego deaths, right? Probably the hardest thing you'll ever have to do in your life is the second ego death, because often the first ego death is just something that has to happen to you because you're getting squeezed out of something by the proxy of accumulated knowledge, eventually breaking something in the heart because you had some level of seeker going on, despite all of your ego problems. But as long as you're not listening to people that are trying to keep you from reintegrating and reconstituting a personality after you've integrated the shadow. It was a transmutation of fact, public, and friction, public. Interesting. Okay. I think I get the sense of what you're saying. Anyway, So that's what I am. That is what I am. The only reason why I would even use the words try to be or whatever is just because it's such a big egotistical statement, right? Because, like, to the point where someone like me, you could easily say is just arrogant and narcissistic, has never really had an ego death, right? That's fair, because although I am not afraid to cry, you don't know how many times I've fucking cried. You don't know how many times I've, felt the worm turn in my stomach in ways that, made me feel infantilishly foolish. Something like that. Infantile and foolish is what I'm trying to get my point across here, right? Or felt shame or guilt come over me that was authentic shame and guilt for my actions. Not just being foolish, but also for some sort of unconscious harm that I was doing because of a selfish desire that was out of alignment with the integrity of the rest of my core being. You can have your own personal selfish desires, but they still have to be in alignment. They still have to not go against your service unto the higher force, right? And you have to walk that line, and you have to show it through action, and you have to be very particular with your choice of words to hold yourself accountable as such before and afterhand. It's just like, I now must act this way, for I have said it beforehand. I have foretold my behavior. I must keep my word. These things matter. So, the only thing that's going to take us from this place of our subdivisions, because we're sharing so much that we're just revealing, who doesn't care about who by petty grievances, that you have to work around, not like, oh man, you and I both believe 9/11 was an inside job, or oh man, you and I both believe in, like, the folkish movement. And it's like, oh man, you and I both believe in this, you and I both seem to want that. You got to really sit down and be like, okay, where's your anchor and where's your trajectory? What's your foundation? What are your baseline values? What are you trying to growing with? And make it entirely about that, and not even care, right? And not even care otherwise, because then the rest of it just doesn't matter, right? You're not going to find a beautiful world just because you found a bunch of people that agree with you about the shape of it. That's not how anything works. Everybody believes that this is a beautiful lake. Everybody wants to have a war to have that lake, which then also in turn ruins the lake, and nobody gets anything that they want. And so that's what's happening to us. Because people don't feel. People just don't like. No, it's not about people. It's not that. It's like, like some people are not as open source minded about their ideas, and then they can't share their ideas. They expect a certain sole proprietorship over, and it's just like, this is not the pathwork towards your personal wealth. We want you to have your own personal wealth. This is something that has to serve a higher purpose. Right? And when it feels like it's just a small group, you can get very paranoid that other people in that group are just trying to steal something from you, to exploit you in some way, shape, or form. Right? Like, there's an inherent trust issue that arises, and then nobody wants to address why ultimately the real issue is that you don't trust them. Or that's the real thing that is apparent, and you don't want to tell anybody why you don't trust them, which then casts shade on whether we should trust you if you have enough gumption to actually think about it and ask that question. So, do you like black people? Yeah, if you are a soul incarnate in this realm, I like you on a basic level, right? There's the level of unconditional love, which is from my service to the higher force. Then there is my personal preferences, which gets as specific as individual persons or individual groups if that person is part of a collective group. And I'm usually not too favorable towards collectivized ideologies, right? But it's okay to be collectively a part of something greater than yourself, right? You know, if you are black and, you know, you're like, no, that's actually a beautiful thing, right? Because there's a proper way for, like, you have to understand that the only reason why that kind of question is in question is because of so much inherent conflict from what is obviously a group of people where we see much more, or we're projected much more poverty and anger coming out of their world, similar with people from the Middle East. Poverty and anger. And poverty and anger being the psychological projection we put on them as a whole makes us think a certain way about them as a whole. When the truth of the matter is that everybody needs to be governed a certain, like, there's two kinds of, there's kind of three kinds of people. There's people that are way too nationalist in identity to the point where it's not even a race thing. Then there's people that are very racial in their identity, people that are very individual in their identity. So the nationals, the racials, the individuals, and then the people that are much more nihilist about the whole fucking thing, right? So this kind of spectrum of care that we see exhibited around us, it makes us think that you're not allowed to pick and choose. The world gets to pick and choose what white people that they like. But a white person is not allowed to say that they don't like anybody in particular, unless it's another white person. And they can talk about how they don't like this other, you know, but if a white person says, I don't like Kanye West, we'll say, right? And then the the racialists will make it about Kanye's ethnicity in some way, shape, or form. This is something that they did to run cover for Trump, right? They would run cover for Trump by making this false argument, not about Kanye, but about other people of genders, sexualities, races, religions, so on and so forth, to just kind of force fit it into their narrative. I'm just a real street nigga. I'm all right with that. LGBTQK? What the hell is K? That's a new one. Oh my god. You know, trans, the T in trans, I'm gonna leave on this controversial note. You know, I'm starting to think to myself, why is trans in there, but not, why is there T, but why is there no H? Why, what, you know, I would do the LGBTQ, right? Because trans means that you are in a natural state of going between one gender or another. I've never met a trans person in a natural state. I've met trans people that have needed drugs and surgery. Trans is a process, not a state of, not a state that emerges like that just happens at rest, right? You have to do something. I don't have to. I can just sit right here. I'm a straight man. That's it. Right? A trans person actually has to do all sorts of stuff. But a hermaphrodite sits there. I'm a boy and a girl. I just am. Came into the world this way. So, you know what? We don't really give enough love to the naturally occurring hermaphrodites out there. They're kind of unspoken. And now, what is K? What the fuck is K? BLMK. Okay, so it's racial and it's genderous? I don't understand. The main thing that I am for is the biospherical regenesis of this realm, where all things live and grow and are free in natural accord and peace and harmony. I know, it's utopian bullshit, but I just don't even believe you're a good person unless that's somewhere in the baseline of your heart. Anyway, I'm going to stop and get some second breakfast. I'll catch you guys later.